Welcome to DYS Feng Shui. Today I want to talk about floor plans and how will you draw a floor plan so that your Feng Shui consultant can analyze your house correctly. Now, looking at different kinds of floor plans is a kind of large wide variety available all over the world. The way we deal with villas and way we deal with apartments can be different, because in villas we have much more flexibility in terms of giving remedies for floor plans, while as for apartments we kind of have to work on we can't do much with the floor plan. So let's anyway get into how will you draw. What you need is definitely a scale like this. Always understand that when you draw your floor plan, you might have to make 2-3 versions of it. If it's a new building, you might be able to go to the builder's website and download the original floor plan of from their website. You might put on Google and search for your building name, and you might find it online itself. So if you have that, that is the best. But if you are stuck in a place where you have no idea where I can get a 2-scale floor plan, then you'll have to draw it on your own. So this is a typical grid which we see in our Feng Shui Bagua. We see it in our Feng Shui Flying Stars, if you're familiar with that. All right, now your floor, as I said, you have to first determine what kind of regular shape your villa, your apartment or your villa is in. If it's falling in a rectangular shape, you have to understand which side your main door falls in. So let's say your main door is over here. So the apartment has the depth of the apartment. That means the bedrooms are this side while the front is this. On the other hand, if your main door is somewhere, let's say here on the long side, this is a more evenly spaced out apartment where half is on one side and half on the other side, while it is longer in width rather than in depth. Okay, so this is a good thing. We determine on which side your main door is. So that determines how the apartment is laid out. A very small two-bedroom flat. Now over here, as you see, we have irregular shape in the sense that it was not a complete rectangle. So example, this bathroom also, it was smaller, and then this part was missing and this part of the bathroom was jutting out. So if you see any kind of building or apartment complex in India especially, you will have all cuts and designs from the outside where you really can't, it's not really completely a regular shape. But if you see overall, this would be classified as a missing area, and this also would be classified as a missing area. What we do is we try to make your floor plan sit inside a regular shape. So there are some floor plans which just don't sit in any kind of shape. So for example, I can just draw a small size over here. There was a floor plan which was like this, and then like this. So this was, the sunroom or something like that. And this was the living room, which was circular literally. And this was the kitchen and bedroom and things like that. So this kind of, floor plan, because of this area, this is really called an irregular shape floor plan, and the feng shui of this floor plan is more difficult because when you have the energy behaves in different ways when you have such kind of structures. If your floor plan fits into a square or rectangle, it is called a regular shape, and it is definitely much better. If you have sometimes some buildings have like corners, like this portion, it's cut, the bedroom, and this portion goes out missing. So this gets affected, this bedroom will get affected because of this irregular shape, but that's a complete different video. We will talk on that later. So now you have a general idea of, let's say, okay, I drew my floor plan, and this is not to scale. This is just a general idea of how your floor plan looks. But it's very important in feng shui that you draw the floor plan to scale. And the reason being why is, once we make a floor plan sit in a regular shape, the most important thing to decide is basically the center of the house. The center of the house will be from, including the missing area. It's going to be taken from this point. It's not going to be taken from this point. We will be adding the missing area and then taking the center. All right, so let's say it's, so I'm not accurate over here. If I were to take it like that, yeah, sorry. See, so the lines got different. Yeah, so the center is not over here, the center of the apartment is here. And then you take the measure of the apartment. So let's say for ease purpose, if this was 12, if I take it as 12 centimeters, so each side is 4, 4, 4. Then I would draw a whole block of 4 around over here, and I would call that the center of the house. And to get this center accurately is very important for your Feng Shui Bagua, for applying the energy map. This block has to be done accurately, and for getting this accurately, you need to know what is the missing corner. You need to know the edges of all your floor. So that is one reason why you need an accurate floor map, so we can accurately pinpoint how the energy is going to sit. The second thing, how do you now go about getting an accurate floor plan if you don't have it from your builder? You will first determine where your main door is, and then once you determine in this block where your main door is, you will draw a shape like this. You will either know whether it has to be long or it has to be short, which side is basically how it goes, So once you look at the rough idea of, or rough floor plan of your building, you will understand which is the longest and which is the shortest side. From the main door, I want you to walk towards the edge or to the last portion of the house. Okay, now if it's not over here, if this is like, let's say this section goes to this side. So let's say you have your living room is only up to this, but then your bedroom extends to the side, and maybe this room only extends here. So you have something like hanging out of the regular shape. We will go through some examples, so you'll get it a little bit more clearer later. So what you do is you move to the longest you can walk. Okay, and then you use your foot or your measuring tape and you measure this out. Okay, and that the longest distance you can walk in your house, that becomes the basis of your scale. So let's say for ease sake, like let's say from here to here was 12 centimeter. So once you walk and you find out the longest and the shortest distances in your house, you measure them, and that becomes the basis of your scale. And then you go to each room, you can look at the tiles, maybe the length of the tiles, count how many tiles are there in every room. And if I say like, if my longest has, let's say 24, longest side has like say 24 tiles, and the shortest has, let's say 18 tiles or 12 tiles or whatever. Okay, depending on that, then you go to each room and you figure out what is the distance. If you have a good measuring tape, or you have any measuring device which you can actually measure the length of the room and the breadth, that would be the best. But if you don't have that, you can use just counting the tiles, and if they're 2 feet tiles, you'll be able to get an idea of how big your rooms are. And once you get the scale of this, you have to go and then from your rough floor plan, write down how many tiles this is, from here to here how many tiles are there, from here to here how many tiles are there, and then you'll get a better idea of the scale of actually how the bedroom is. You will also basically how the floor plan is. You'll be able to actually say, okay, this may be not over here, this may be like this, and this is wrong. Or maybe the bathroom is not as wide as the kitchen. This bathroom comes in ends over here, and the kitchen is ends over here, the wall is over here. So you will be able to get a much more accurate floor plan by making 2-3 versions of it and getting it as accurate as possible. It also helps to go outside the building to see basically where are the missing corners. When you take a walk around the building, you'll be able to see these missing corners. And you should be very clear where these missing corners are. Because only when the missing corners are clearly drawn out, you'll be able to actually fix the problem. So this is the idea of how to get a accurate floor plan. I hope you all enjoyed this, and if you all did, please give this video a thumbs up. Put all your questions in. When I get time, I shall answer them, and I shall put out more videos. Thank you. Bye bye.